Hi everyone, this is Charmander, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about Genesis War. But before that, I just thought to show you the super funny thing that my Alliance member, Garrison Power, is doing, and he's having a sumo wrestling match in the middle of GW with this other player, and it's absolutely the funniest shit I have ever seen, so I just thought that I'd show it to you. But anyways, Genesis War is one of the PvP events that this game has to offer, and it has very mixed feelings in the community because some people think it's terrible because the rewards are bad. However, some people think it's also very fun. The truth is, it's both. It's super fun, but it's also the worst at giving rewards. With that being said, let's take a look at how Genesis War works. So usually on Wednesdays, there is the registration period for this event, and it's a traditional registration period where you would have to drop your members to lower your might in an attempt to improve your matchup. One thing to keep in mind though is when doing the matchmaking, my alliance members have noticed that actually how low you register doesn't seem to matter as much as what your alliance ratings is. So what the alliance rating is if you register for Pompeii, you'll see that there is a ratings on top of the alliance might. So the ratings is actually, from what I can see, is how they calculate on which bracket that you will be competing at. That's why you can try to register as low as you can, but you could still be matched up with super strong players just because your alliance ratings is really high. So do keep that in mind when you're doing registration. Now, on the first day of the event, it is called Hub Battle, and it kind of looks the same as the third day of Genesis War, where you have the science hub here in the middle, and there's defense stations in all four corners of the map. The ultimate goal for any day of Genesis War is actually to take over the science hub and earn points towards the event. So you will see it in the top right corner under point ranking. The science hub provides the most amount of points. That's why you want to have the science hub. However, you can also earn points from capturing defense station and also by killing chainsaw zombies. So the chainsaw zombies, they appear at 4 and 8 UTC. So that depends on which time zone you live in. And by killing them, you can earn points. So as you can see, the Chainsaw Commander provides the most points, and the Chainsaw Soldiers also provide some points. This was created to force a field battle midway through the event just to add some kind of activity so people are not bored waiting for the battle window to start. Battle window usually starts at 14 UTC, and that's when people fight for the Science Hub as well as the defense stations. A typical strategy also that people will employ is they'll try to attack the core towers towards their opponent and try to cut them off by destroying the outer watchtower that everyone is around, causing people to burn. Another thing to keep in mind is when GW starts, instead of building towers, you have these watchtowers that you have to attack, and then they start to recover, and after they recover, then you can now garrison them or go towards the next watchtower. The second day of the event is called Twin Resonance, and basically, it's kind of hard to show you right here, but there is going to be double the amount of Science Hub as well as Defense Station. So if you look at this map right now where I'm at, basically, it's going to be this whole area and then copy and paste to another area. So pretty much a total of 8 defense station and 2 science hub. And on the last day of Genesis War, the event is called Tactical Strike, and it looks exactly like the first day, which is hub battle, with the difference is you now have abilities called tactical orders that you can use. So double efficiency, for example, doubles the Guardian Pack effectiveness of all allied defense stations. And basically what Guardian Pack is when the defense station and science hub belong to the same alliance, the science hub will gain additional shields periodically to enhance its defensive capabilities, defense mode. When the defense station and the science hub belong to different alliances, the defense station will deal damage through the science hub periodically, attack mode. This effect will only trigger when the science hub is in battle with a 60-second cooldown. The next ability is called Rally Assault. Basically, you can launch 2 rallies on one structure. So that could be 2 rallies on the science hub, 2 rallies on the defense station, or 2 rallies on the watchtowers. Next, there's Quick Counter, and this one is used for counter rally. And Quick Counter is to reduce the time that it takes for you to counter rally an enemy. So basically, if someone's rallying your tower and you need to counter rally, this will only take 1 minute for you to counter rally them. So this is super useful. And last but not least, there's Rapid Reinforce, which you can use on any allied buildings, and for 5 minutes allows squads from allied shelters to quickly arrive at it. So I'm going to use it right now just to kind of demonstrate what that works. I'm going to use it right now, and let's pick this tower right here, and then I'm going to send garrison right here. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, this guy is running super fast to try to garrison it. And it's really helpful actually for this event because it's going to be hard for your opponents to try to snipe your refill troops when they're trying to garrison. your structure. It's also dangerous during Genesis War to farm. So this is one event where you can actually build all 4 of the resource centers. So as you can see here, my alliance is happily farming right now. The battle window only lasts for 60 minutes, and this has changed in the past. So before there was 2 battle windows, and then they made it to 1 battle window but 90 minutes, but now it's just 60 minutes, which I think is a welcome change to this event. You also have the War Meets War rewards that you can see here depending on how many points that you earn, and there's also additional points that you can earn depending on how you rank on the War Meets War ranking itself. So the higher you rank, the better the rewards, obviously. And this is especially good for anyone that's trying to collect superb armaments, especially the helmet one, because this is one of the few places that you can actually earn the superb helmet fragment. Genesis War also has super weapons such as the Steed of Calamity. So as you can see, this one has this effect here that prevents enemy shelter from relocating for 8 minutes. So for example, you're trying to barbecue someone before their tower goes down, and you know they're just waiting for the last moment to teleport away. You can use this on them, and now they can't teleport away, and now you can barbecue them. Granted, they can still use their shield, assuming that they don't have the battle fever. There's also the super weapon shield, because when you have a super weapon, then the lights of Doomsday doesn't work. That means anyone can rally or attack you. But with the super weapon shield, now you can shield yourself for 8 hours, even if you have the super weapon on your shelter. Next one, there's the Brain of Thought, and this one grants leader wisdom to the selected hero to increase their squad capacity by 60%. So this is good for rally, this is good for field battles as well, as you will have a much larger capacity, allowing you to defeat your opponents much easier. There's the Frigid Goddess. This one freezes up to 15 enemy squads in the area for 9 seconds. While frozen, they cannot move. Attacking frozen targets will unfreeze them, and for 16 seconds reduces their movement speed by 60%, increases the damage they take by 88%. And of course, it also has the Alliance Aura, where travel speed is increased by 1%. So I forgot to mention that there is Alliance Aura for each of the super weapons that you obtain. Next one, there's the Bio Reinforced Spine. Again, Alliance Aura 1%, and when active, upon use, reduces damage fall off from allied AoE attacks by 70% for 10 minutes. Last but not least, there is the Drone Swarm with the Alliance Aura of HP plus 1% and deals direct damage to targets in an area with a damage factor of 24,500 and heals lightly wounded units in your squad with a healing factor of 82,000. The more targets hit, the greater amounts of units healed. So I would say super weapons are kind of a hit or miss, because if you don't have a big whale in your team holding the super weapon, then you could potentially get rallied and you could get zeroed. So do collect them at your own risk. The event also has super rescue. So on day 1, 40% of your troops will automatically be healed. 65% will be healed from your hospital on day 2 and 3. In the 8th station, 80% of the troops that die will come back the next day, and 100% will come back from day 2 and day 3 of GW. Now, this is a little bit tricky with the wording, because what this actually means is, yes, you will still have permanent deaths, but they will be given back to you the next day at these specific values. So this doesn't mean all the dead troops that you get will come back permanently. It just means 100% of the ones in the 8th station will come back, if that makes sense. So overall, from my opinion, Genesis War is my second favorite event after Island Raid. Archipelago Raid is actually my personal least favorite of the 3 events, mainly because I feel like Archipelago Raid is way too long. The problem with Genesis War is the rewards are awful. They're so bad. That's why Archipelago Raid is really popular, because it actually has really good rewards. However, from a battle perspective, I like how simple it is, where you have this arena here and you're trying to get the science hub and you're trying to earn points and you're trying to cut off each other. And I really like that aspect of this battle. And I'm making this video right now on Genesis War just because my alliance finally won our first ever 3 out of 3 of the entire Genesis War event. So we've never done this before, and honestly, it's because we have recruited Al Sheikh, who has joined our alliance, and he is our resident whale. He is actually in 2 different alliances, so he's probably watching this right now. So hey, what's up, dude? And honestly, without this guy, we would have never won. But that's the thing though with Genesis War and Island Raid, you need players that is of whale level to win nowadays. It's mandatory. A team with really good teamwork is just not enough to win this event without anyone that is pretty much a whale. I can tell you right now, each teams that is in the finals here has one player that is close to being whale level or at whale level. That's just the nature of this game right now, and everyone will need a resident whale in PvP events, at the very least for Genesis War and Island Raid. However, Archipelago Raid is a different story, as there's so many different alliances within a legion. So if some of those alliances within that legion has a whale, then not all the alliances within it needs one to win that event. So in that sense, Archipelago Raid is more friendly in regards to what kind of team members you have in your team. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.